Simon Sinek's Start With Why is a groundbreaking exploration of what makes certain leaders, organizations, and movements exceptionally influential. At its core, the book argues that the most successful entities don't just focus on what they do or how they do it. They start with why they do it. This why represents their purpose, cause, or belief, and it serves as the foundation for inspiring action, building loyalty, and achieving long-term success. Sinek introduces the concept of the Golden Circle, a framework that explains how great leaders and organizations communicate and operate from the inside out, starting with why, then moving to how, and finally to what. This summary will delve into the key concepts of the book, provide real-world examples, and offer practical applications for individuals and organizations to integrate these ideas into their lives. The Golden Circle: why, how, and what. The Golden Circle is the central framework of Start With Why. It consists of 3 concentric circles. Why: the core belief or purpose that drives an individual or organization. It answers the question, why do we exist? How: the processes, values, or principles that guide how the why is brought to life. What: the tangible products, services, or outcomes that result from the why and how. Most organizations operate from the outside in, starting with what and occasionally addressing how. For example, a company might say, "We make great computers." This is what. They're beautifully designed and user-friendly. This is how. However, truly inspiring leaders and organizations start with. This is why Apple, for instance, begins with its why. We believe in challenging the status quo and thinking differently. This purpose informs how they innovate and design products, which ultimately leads to what they sell: computers, phones, and other devices. Sinek argues that starting with why taps into the emotional part of the brain, the limbic system, which drives decision-making and behavior. When people feel connected to a purpose, they are more likely to trust, engage, and remain loyal. The biology of belief: how why influences. Behavior. Sinek explains that the human brain has 2 primary areas relevant to decision-making: the neocortex and the limbic system. The neocortex is responsible for rational thought, language, and analysis. It processes what and how. The limbic system, on the other hand, governs emotions, trust, and gut feelings. It processes why. When leaders communicate their why, they appeal to the limbic system, creating an emotional connection with their audience. This is why people often make decisions based on feelings and then justify them with logic. For example, consumers might buy a product because it aligns with their values, why, and later rationalize the purchase based on features or price, what, and how. This biological basis underscores the importance of starting with why. It's not enough to have a great product or service. People need to believe in the purpose behind it. Real-world examples of starting with why. Apple. Challenging the status quo. Apple's success is a prime example of starting with why. While competitors like Dell and Microsoft focused on what they sold, computers, software, Apple began with its why. We believe in challenging the status quo and thinking differently. This purpose resonated with customers who shared the same belief, creating a loyal following. Apple's how, innovative design and user-friendly interfaces, supported its why, and its what. iPhones, MacBooks, and iPads were the tangible results. The Wright brothers, a belief in possibility. The Wright brothers, who achieved the first powered flight, were driven by a strong why, a belief that human flight was possible and would change the world. Their competitor, Samuel Langley, had more funding and resources, but lacked a compelling why. Langley's motivation was fame and fortune, which didn't inspire the same level of dedication. The Wright brothers' purpose-driven approach enabled them to persevere through failures and ultimately succeed. Martin Luther King Jr. A vision of equality. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't just advocate for civil rights. What? He articulated a powerful why, a vision of equality and justice. His "I Have a Dream" speech tapped into shared values and inspired millions to take action. By starting with why, King created a movement that transcended his lifetime. The importance of clarity, discipline, and consistency. To effectively start with why, Leaders and organizations must have clarity about their purpose, the discipline to stay true to it, and the consistency to demonstrate it over time. Clarity. A clear why acts as a guiding star for decision-making. For example, Disney's why is to create happiness. This clarity helps the company evaluate new projects, hire employees, and design experiences. Discipline. Staying true to the why requires discipline, especially when faced with challenges or temptations to prioritize short-term gains. Patagonia, for instance, has remained committed to its why of environmental sustainability, even when it meant sacrificing profits. Consistency. Followers need repeated proof that an organization lives its why. Tesla's mission to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy is reflected in its electric cars, solar products, and battery storage. This consistency builds trust and credibility. Application. How to start with why in your life. For individuals, discover your why. Reflect on your core beliefs and values. Ask yourself, what cause or purpose drives me? For a teacher, it might be empowering students to reach their potential. For an entrepreneur, solving pressing social problems. Align your career and goals. Seek roles and opportunities that resonate with your why. If your why is to promote health and wellness, consider careers in healthcare, fitness, or nutrition. Communicate with purpose. In job interviews, networking, or personal relationships, lead with your why. Instead of saying, "I'm a graphic designer," say, "I believe in using design to tell meaningful stories." For example, a nurse whose why is to advocate for vulnerable patients might prioritize bedside care over administrative roles, even if it means lower pay. This alignment fosters fulfillment and resilience during challenges. For organizations, define a shared why. Engage teams in discussions about the organization's purpose. A nonprofit fighting hunger might realize its deeper why is restoring dignity through community. Hire for cultural fit. Recruit individuals who share the why. Southwest Airlines hires for teamwork and humor, aligning with its mission to make flying accessible and enjoyable. Design why-driven policies. If a company's why is innovation, allocate resources to R&D and reward risk-taking, even if some projects fail. Pitfalls and challenges. A common mistake is conflating why with metrics like revenue or market share. For example, a startup might claim its why is to disrupt the fintech industry, but this is a what? Dig deeper. Is the purpose to empower underserved communities financially? Another challenge is maintaining the why during growth. When Starbucks expanded rapidly, it initially lost its why of being a third place between home and work. By retraining baristas and revamping store designs, it rediscovered its purpose. Conclusion. Start with why is not just a leadership manual, but a philosophy for meaningful action. By clarifying your why, you attract others who share your beliefs, creating a ripple effect of inspiration. Whether leading a team, building a brand, or navigating personal goals, beginning with purpose fosters resilience, innovation, and trust. As Sinek writes, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. The challenge and opportunity lies in living that truth every day. Practical integration to apply these principles. Daily reminders. Write your why on a sticky note or as a phone wallpaper. Decision filters. Before making choices, ask, does this align with my why? Storytelling. Share anecdotes that illustrate your why in meetings or interviews. By making why the foundation of actions and communication, individuals and organizations can transform how they lead, collaborate, and impact the world.